I don't think no chucks today.
That's fine.
Huh?
That's fine.
Middle of my day. In case he comes. Heard about the Mass Pike too, right? Heard about the Mass Pike, right?
No, what's going on?
Oh, on Friday I think it was. There was a big sinkhole in the Mass Pike.
Oh,
Yeah. And I got something to report about the overhead bridge on Route 28 in Middleboro. With 5 mile-an-hour restriction because the truck hit it last week. The trains. You got a read on David Johansson, the little one?
I'll get it up.
Yeah.
I'll get it up.
You want my phone for that or no?
No,
Oh,
I'm using my phone. So.
well, at least he was using phones for research. I mean,
That's
doing the
why I'm
Facebook.
starting to do the plasma on that.
Yeah,
Use my
that's
phone
good.
to research those. Hanson, perfect.
Geography King is starting to do new videos. You notice that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing live streams and stuff too.
Former Missouri Republican Senator Jim Tallis says there's trouble with some high-level officials at the FBI. Lying to the Congress, lying to the public. I mean, they have...
Oh, Kelly Bruno's on Channel 5.
The truth. I mean, I'm a big believer that this administration needs
What's
to
on
speak the truth.
OTR?
To err on the side
OTR.
transparency regarding the truth it finds. Tallis says it will take a strong commitment to transparency for the Trump administration to rebuild the once stellar reputation of the FBI.
That's the only way we're gonna get back. I was always a very
Really
strong
yellow.
supporter of the FBI. I began to be very disenchanted when Comey did not prosecute Hillary Clinton.
Tallis was interviewed by the Salem Radio Network. Pope Francis has had coffee and read newspapers after an alarming setback in his 2-week recovery from double pneumonia. Doctors had a good amount of
Middleboro takes on Commonwealth.
Friday following a coffee fit.
Yeah, they're suing the Commonwealth.
Townhall.com.
We'll talk about it.
You got information on that?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Jason Walker has details.
You got an idea what the Supreme Court said? The Mass Supreme Court? Huh?
The Master Supreme Court's sided with the state, other than that the other decision there,
Rewrite it?
other than to rewrite it. Yeah.
I don't get it. It's kind of sad.
They sided with the state, but they said rewrite the law. I don't know what that means either. That does sound vague.
Are you sure they said that?
Yes.
Jason Walker reporting.
And speaking of landings, a private lunar lander has touched down on the moon, delivering a drill and other...
Rewrite the law, but they're still implemented it
Firefly Aerospace's
as,
Blue
you know,
Ghost
on the
flying
town
Christie
cities and
I know they
towns.
said
for an
it's
impact basin on the moon's near
it's
side,
not
named for its rare
enforceable in its
species of
current.
Blue
I
Ghost
don't
blasted
know.
off
But they sided with the
They said it was constitutional.
Yeah, it was constitutional.
I'm Ron Taylor.
That doesn't. No.
Maybe
To me, it is not constitutional. At this point, it's getting to the point where it's not. You're withholding funds from towns that don't apply.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's not constitutional in my opinion. It is not. I am looking for 270. All right.
Maybe after 6 years, you'll remember what your thing is.
I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for the Middleboro Week in Review.
I've never talked to her.
With
We
your
haven't
host,
talked.
Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news. Middleboro News. Here
Perfect
on AM
coffee. All right.
1530
Yeah.
WBBS.
Let's go.
Hey, Joey, what's happening?
I'll take the other coffee if
It's a hot coffee. It's not
I don't
cold.
care. And good morning, and welcome to Middleboro in Review. I am Joey Driscoll. Today is the 2nd of March, 2025. Boy, interesting week this week, Don, in many ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go over the celebrity world this week. David Johansen passed away yesterday. Or actually, it was not yesterday. It was actually the day before, the 28th. And he was 75 years old. He was from Staten Island, New York. Best known as the lead singer of the proto-punk band, the New York Dolls. And also after that, he went on to be Buster Poindexter, there we go. And he also had a role in a movie called Ghost of Christmas Past. Playing the Ghost of Christmas Past, actually, in Scrooged, which was a 1988 movie. But he was 75 years old. He passed away this week. He also had a song, I don't exactly know what year it came out. It was the 80s.
I think it was 1982.
Okay.
It was the Animals Melody.
Yes, that
Came
was
out. It was
amazing.
it was a complete album of all Animals songs, and it was like one of the first MTV videos that aired. It was a really to do for MTV. So MTV came out in maybe it was 81 or 82. Maybe it was 81 the album came out. But I mean, it was studio version from the album, but they got them on stage at the Paradise Theater in Boston, and I guess a couple people from I think Nina Blackwood was in the audience too, and MTV VJ was in there, and it was a good, it was a good cover album technically, and he the melodies put all the songs together, and I remember that album when it came out because my brother had it, and I fell in love with it. And I used to always steal my brother's albums all the time. He's like, Donald, don't steal my albums, don't put them back. So I had to make sure I put them back just the way they were there. And after a while, he stopped. I still listen to them, but I made sure I put them back. But I remember him having that album, and I remember seeing that on MTV, and it was a favorite of mine every time it came on. If you ever go on YouTube, look up David Johansen, Animal Melody, and anybody who was listening to MTV at the time bring back fond memories. And they're great songs too. They're great covers. And another movie that David Johansen played in was a movie called Free Jack. I'm not sure when it came out. It came out in the 90s, maybe early 90s. Yeah, it starred Anthony Hopkins, Rene Russo, I believe, was in it. Who else was in it? Mick Jagger was in it, and David Johansen was in it. And he played like a small role, but it was a good role altogether. But you get two musical icons playing in a movie. It was a futuristic movie. So I enjoyed that. I really like, I'm kind of almost on the base of sci-fi in a way. But he was pretty good in that. But and then he reinvented himself with Buster Poindexter. I really didn't get into that. But I mean, it was, he just cutting edge. He knew how to make, he made money. I guess Buster Poindexter was really popular. I never gave it a try, so I'm not saying, I just never really listened to it. It wasn't really my cup of tea. But now maybe he's gone, I'll probably see, what it's all about.
Also passing away this week, actually passing away about 2 weeks ago, February 17th is his official, that's what they're saying. His death was, according to his pacemaker. And this was Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman passed away on according to the police, February 17th, 2025. But the news broke this past week. He and his wife were found dead in their home. Gene Hackman, just a very important actor. He had a career that spanned 4 decades, 2 Academy Awards, 2 British Academy Film Awards. He also won several Golden Globes, 4 of them to be exact. He had 2 Academy Award wins were for Best Actor for his role as Jimmy Popeye Doyle in the William Friedkin action thriller The French Connection. Don, that was an interesting one.
Yeah.
The Best Supporting Actor for his role as the villainous sheriff in the Clint Eastwood Western film Unforgiven, 1992.
I think his name was Little Joe.
Really?
I think so. I think that was his character, was Little Joe. I think it was.
All right, we have that. Nominated for 3 other roles. Buck Barrow in the crime drama Bonnie and Clyde, which came out in 1967. A college professor in the drama I Never Sang for My Father, which came out in 1970. And an FBI agent in the historical drama Mississippi Burning, which came out in 1988. He gained further fame, and you were waiting for this one. To mention this. He gained further fame for his portrayal of Lex Luthor in 3 Superman films from 1978 to 1987.
We were just watching that just last week, the first one anyway. Lex Luthor was great. Yeah, I mean, he played in the first 3, which were really good. And another movie that I really think he was unbelievable was Crimson Tide, opposite Denzel Washington. And James Gandolfini was in that movie too. A lot of people don't realize that. And that was a great movie. What a drama! Oh man, talk about passion! It's just unbelievable on that movie. And he played in a lot of good other movies too. He was just a tough guy. You know, he was a really good actor. It's just too bad, you know, he passed away, and we don't know what happened. They're still investigating it and whatnot. But I was sad to hear that, because I mean, one of your heroes passes away, because who knows? I'm not sure if he retired from making movies, but Clint Eastwood, probably about the same age, is still producing, still working.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, his last, I'm not sure his last movie was The Mule or something like that. But that was his last movie that I've seen, and that was really good. I think he put that out about 4 years ago. So.
Yeah. Another movie that he was in was Get Shorty. He was in that.
Mm-hmm.
That was with James Gandolfini as well. Some of the other movies he was in: The Side Adventure, Scarecrow, Night Moves, A Bridge Too Far, which came out in 1977, Under Fire, Another Woman,
Back to One.
yeah, The
That's another
Firm,
good movie.
The Quick and the Dead, The Birdcage, Enemy of the State, and a movie that I saw about a year or 2 ago, which I thought was kind of interesting. He retired from acting after his final film role, which was in Welcome to Mooseport, which that came out in 2004. That has Ray Milano in it as well.
Okay.
Of Everyone Loves Raymond.
So 2004
it was a good film.
2004 was his last movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
He did occasionally provide narration for television documentaries until about 2017.
Okay.
So he, his last role, so that was his last film role. His last role, period, was We the Marines. He was a narrator for that, and also he did narration for The Unknown Flag Raiser of Iwo Jima. He did some other things. He was narrator for 4 episodes of the America's Game, the Super Bowl Champions, which is an episodic series that talks about the individual Super Bowls and the seasons that the 2 teams who were in the Super Bowl had, and especially the winner. We talk about that. He was narrator in 4 of those as well. That was in 2007. So, yeah. There you go. So, Gene Hackman and David Johansen passed away this week. All right, 7:18 a.m. When we come back, we're going to get right into the show today. Open phone lines, 508-822-1106 is the number to call. We've got a lot to get to today. A lot of interesting things happening in Middleboro this week. And the MBTA Communities Act continues to get more interesting as the days go by. As we get closer and closer to South Coast Rail opening. Potentially on March 24th. I gotta say this every time I'm talking about South Coast Rail. Potentially March 24th, because I'm not 100% certain if it's gotten FRA approval yet. So I don't know if it has. If it has, if I missed something, give us a call, 508-222-1106. Let me know. But I don't believe it has gotten FRA approval yet. They have yet. The Congress has yet to have a Senate meeting, a confirmation Senate hearing for David Fink, who is the FRA administrator.
Yeah, that don't mean anything. I'm sure it's
nominee. I know it doesn't mean anything.
It
doesn't really mean anything, but it's going to be important going forward for this project, I think, as well, and for other projects the state might want to do. But
I just hope they. I mean, everyone kind of know. Not everyone, but I'm saying most people know where these stations are and what the system's going to be all about. The new line.
Mm-hmm.
But I just hope these other transit agencies have smart bus connections to other points of town. Meaning, is there going to be a shuttle from the station to Providence, Rhode Island, via like downtown Fall River? Because if you say you live in Taunton and you want to work in Providence, there's no need of you going all the way to Boston to take a train back to. You might as well just take a train to Fall River and grab a bus to Providence. That's a straight connection.
Yeah.
I mean, if you jump on 44, you're in Providence in 15, 20 minutes. You're in East Providence, right going down. So I mean, you can almost throw a rock to Rhode Island from there.
They have a nice station in Providence near the airport that they should be using
On weekends.
7 days a week.
Yeah, that's Rhode Island. They don't want to pay. They don't want to pay. Yeah, they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay. They don't want to pay. I mean, the state-of-the-art station, no one uses. Amtrak should stop there, in my opinion, because they do stop at Newark. They stop at BWI and Baltimore.
Yeah, of course they should stop there.
And
Absolutely, it's right near the right near
And
the
South Station is connected to Silver Line, which is they have an airport bus.
was it like a quick 2-minute walk from the station or something from the airport? It's not that far. The airport's like right there, right? So
We walked it before.
it's not that far. So why they're not stopping there? I don't know.
You know what they should have? They should They should go and look at things like fun parks have, like these little strap-in seats that shoot you across, with your luggage or whatever, like little buggies that run back and forth like a local conveyor sort of. And you get on it, and then it buzzes you across to the terminal, because a lot of older people, that's a long walk.
Yes, it is.
It's a long walk. I mean, I know. We got. I mean, if you have the late braces, I think when we did that, I got you there was someone with a golf cart.
Yeah, golf cart.
But I mean, I think something that's more almost like they had that in a parking lot. It was connected to Wellington Station years ago. It was like a little mini shuttle that took you across to the parking lot. It was tiny. I mean, it sat like 4 people. It was almost like the transit system in West Virginia. It'll hold 6 to 8 people. Everyone goes on to West Virginia, type in transportation systems. You'll see that there's like a little wheel. They have wheels on them, and it's they're little they're like personal transits, and it's fairly interesting. So something like that, I think, would be a little bit better for people. Especially, I'm thinking about the older people who can't walk, because it's a good kind of. 10-minute walk across this bridge. So, I mean, if they can figure out some systems that are safe to connect people, even time-wise, so.
All right, 7:23 a.m. Let's take our first commercial break right now. When we come back, we'll have more transportation as we got to get to something pretty serious here locally. So we'll get to that here in just a moment. Here on WVBF 1530 AM 99.7 FM, Middleboro in review. Open phone lines today, 508-822-1106. I am Joey Driscoll, and we'll be right back.
Spark Street Auto Body, located at 48 Spark Street in Brockton, Massachusetts, offers the highest quality collision repair and complete auto service for your car. They are a direct repair shop for all major insurance companies. You should reach them at 508-583-1495. They're open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and 8 to 4 on Fridays. Call them today. You will not be disappointed. 508-583-1495.
152. Go? Oh, come on. Hey, 152, and then it goes clear out.
Veteran Motorcycle Association is an association of combat veterans from all branches of the United States Armed Forces who ride motorcycles as a hobby. Our mission is to support those who have defended our country and freedoms. Our focus is to help veteran care facilities provide a warm meal, clothing, shelter, and guidance, or simply to say thank you and welcome home. We have members from nearly all 50 states.
Yeah, with this new policy Facebook is rolling out, they're kind of making the site unusable.
What?
The new live stream thing, the new live stream thing that they're doing, where they're deleting broadcasts after 30 days. They're making the website unusable. They really are.
Who? Facebook?
Facebook, yeah. They're making stuff unusable, and I'm starting to seriously consider moving to a different streaming thing.
Oh, really?
Doing live streaming somewhere else, maybe YouTube.
Can you do it?
I can.
Yeah.
I can.
Why don't you? Because you don't have to switch it over. It's already on there, right?
No, yeah, I probably should. I probably should start doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll make that announcement when I'm ready to make it. I don't know how much longer I want to deal with having to download all the shows to keep them from not being deleted.
Yeah.
That's WBBF1530@hotmail.com. Thank you for listening. Your hometown radio station is AM 1530, WBBF, and 99.7 FM.
Okay, we want 320. Yeah. Right. 40 seconds. 10 seconds. And we are back here on Middleboro in review. It is 7:28 a.m. We have 2 minutes here before we stop for our town hall news break from the Salem Radio News Network. So we got that in about 2 minutes from now. When we come back, we're going to continue our transportation topic by talking about some things going on locally in Middleboro. There's pretty serious stuff going on with the state and Middleboro. I'm going to talk about that coming out of the break, so stay tuned for that. Open phone lines, 508-822-1106 is number as well to call if you have any thoughts about what's going on between the state and Middleboro when it comes to the MBTA. But we have blood drives coming up for the month of March. Saturday, March 8th, Middleboro High School, 71 East Grove Street, Middleboro, Massachusetts, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. for that blood drive. We have Tuesday, March 11th, at Carver Middle High School, 60 South Meadow Road, Carver, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then Wednesday, March 19th, Rosebrook Event Center, 50 Rosebrook Place, number 1, in Wareham, 1 p.m. to 5:45 p.m. for that blood drive. And finally, Monday, March 31st, Church of Our Savior, 60 Union Street in Middleboro, 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. So the month of March starts with a blood drive in Middleboro and ends with a blood drive in Middleboro. All right, it is 7:30 a.m. and we'll be right back here on Middleboro in review on WVBI 1530 AM 99.7 FM.
Ukraine's leaders won the backing of many Republicans. White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
Ukrainian President Zelensky's push for security guarantees from the U.S. to help end the war with Russia sparked a tongue-lashing from Donald Trump.
We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel. I'm not telling you. You're in no position to dictate that. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
The Oval Office episode prompted an outpouring of support for Zelensky from America's traditional allies in Europe. Meanwhile, Trump supporters, including GOP members of Congress, cheered on the White House, as did Russian officials in Moscow. Ray Clugston, Washington.
A private lunar lander has touched down on the moon, delivering a drill and other experiments for NASA.
Firefly Aerospace's Blue Ghost lander descended from lunar orbit early Sunday, aiming for an impact basin on the moon's near side. Confirmation of touchdown came from Firefly's Mission Control in Texas. Named for a rare species of fireflies, Blue Ghost blasted off from Florida in January. 2 other companies' landers are hot on the heels of Blue Ghost, with the next one targeting a landing later this week.
Correspondent Andrew Stewart. Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has announced he's running for
There
mayor
was
of New York City.
There was a rare planet alignment in the sky on the night of the 28th.
Harassment accusations. Cuomo Deep is expected
28th of what?
February.
Oh,
Miami Beach broke
Yeah.
up the spring breakers last year.
Interesting
And
stuff,
it's
I
still
guess.
officially broken off. Officials
I mean, if you're into
now
astronomy, I
bring
guess
back
it's
enhanced
pretty
security measures
interesting.
this month, including parking restrictions and increased fees for non-residents. It's all designed to combat a rash of violence in Miami Beach on spring break before. This is Town Hall.
Brian May needs to go and talk to the NASA director and make and try to get a deal done to make Pluto a planet again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's talked about that several times. Brian May has talked about that many times.
I don't know why they,
developed by doctors.
you know,
It doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or even eliminate pain. How do I know? Absolutely.
I don't know why they even changed it to begin with.
Daily. No lower
I don't know what that is all about.
In fact,
I'm sure they made money, whoever did it. It was a big study. Everyone got a paycheck. You know what I
Big
mean?
study,
It's all
a big
money.
thing.
It's all money.
They all made a bunch of money.
Oh well, and they got to come up with some sort of analysis and some sort of statement, and that's what they did. They said, oh, well, they just.
living better again. Visit
But
He should talk. Brian May should go. Has gone up to bat when it comes to this Pluto issue. He should go and talk to NASA and be
The
like,
U.S. aircraft
what
carriers
what
arrived
what
in
can we
South
do to
Korea
get Pluto as a planet?
Four days after North Korea
What do we have to do?
Who decided it wasn't a plan? It wasn't NASA.
It was somebody. I don't know who it was. It was somebody.
Display a solid U.S.-South Korean military alliance.
They're gonna go back and rewrite all the Star Blazers episodes, I guess, right?
Is expected to infuriate North Korea.
Battle of
I mentioned
Pluto.
Star Blazers
The
yesterday.
Battle of Pluto.
Yeah. I mentioned Star Blazers yesterday.
Where?
It's
Friday, right?
No, yesterday on
history teacher.
Grab Country Journal. Me and Paul were talking about old television shows.
Oh, because he did it by phone?
Yeah, and I mentioned Star Blazers.
Yeah.
The inauguration of the 57-year-old Orsi marks the return of Uruguay's broad.
I never seen the whole third episode. I just can't get used to the new
Third
voices.
season, you mean?
Yeah, I can't get used to the new voices.
So is it a third season or is it like a third show? Is it the same show but a third season of the same show, or is it a different show altogether?
No, it's a different. You know, it's still
It's still
Argo,
Star
it's
Blazers.
still Star Blazers, but it's a whole different thing.
Okay, so
You
it's
know,
not
it
like
was
3 separate
Gamlons,
series.
the Gamlons, and there was the Common Empire, and then this is the Bola Federation, was whatever.
I think
Yeah.
they all have their quirks. I think they're all interesting.
Yeah, but you know what? I couldn't. All the voices changed, and they didn't even try to make the voices sound like the
exactly.
originals. I mean, you listen to Eager.
They need a movie.
Well, they got a guy named Eager, right? He's a gunner or whatever, and he has a certain voice, and then he has a totally. He was kind of a. I don't know. He sort of had like a southern voice, and then they put a real deep voice in for the. Yeah, it's just, it's hot.
Well, I mean, I don't know if an American studio owns the rights.
No, I think they put out.
Japanese.
And I guess all the translating voices came in later.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they just used whoever they had. You know, grab the janitors or whoever was in the building to do it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1, and 0. And we're back to turn down the bumper music.
Bumper.
There we go. Me and Don were talking about our favorite subject, Star Blazers, a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
We're talking about how the first 2 seasons were really, really good. They were really well done. And then Don mentioned the 3rd season and had a couple of issues that you had with the 3rd season, different voice actors. And this happens with a lot of different series. This doesn't just happen with Star Blazers. You notice it in a lot of different series. You got different people who come in for a new series.
Yeah.
It happens in every single series.
That kind of happened too with the Brady Bunch. I guess Maureen McCormick, who plays Marsha, didn't want to come in one of the '80s movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure which one it was, and they put somebody else in, and I guess the ratings weren't, because you need the whole family, you need everybody, you need all the original characters. So if you go back and look at the ratings for that particular one, that didn't have Maureen McCormick. And I think there was another one with Susan Olsen, who plays Cindy, was in it. So I mean, I think they had about maybe 6 or 7 after the series ended in 1974. During the, I think it was mostly in the 80s and early 90s, they had the Brady reunion shows, Christmas Brady or whatnot. And I think in a couple of instances there was other people playing. So that's.
I think a type of show that you can get away with a ton of turnover in is shows like Law and Order, NCIS, Hawaii Five-0. Those kind of shows, you can kind of get away with the turnover.
I disagree on Hawaii. Nobody can replace McGarrett.
Yeah.
McGarrett was McGarrett.
Well, I mean, they have a new show altogether.
And that show, I think they played 12 years or something. It was a long time. That show was on a long time.
Well, I think they revived it.
And then the Streets of
As well.
San Francisco with Carl Malden and Michael Douglas. I was like, I love Carl Malden. He played in Patton. He was one of the generals. I think it was Bradley in Patton. I'm not too sure, but But as far as Star Blazers, it was like one of those programs that I had to watch every morning. I walked and I went to my buddy Kenny Mann's house, and he lived right across the street from the school, so we watched it. And then, like 5 minutes out, we ran across his house because he ran across the parking lot. We always made it in time, but we never knew what the next episode was going to be until we did this every day.
Yeah.
It was on. And we didn't miss it. I mean, that's dedication. I'd get up I'd leave my house at 6:30 in the morning to get there, and a 45-minute walk from my house to where he lived, and then we'd watch it from 7:30 to 7:55, and then
And when it comes to television shows, dedication is important. Peter Falk, dedicated to Columbo for 35 years. You get the 1968 to 2003. I was watching that last episode in 2003, and just how different it was, but you still had the same kind of character.
Oh,
He didn't really change that.
right, the quirky attitude. He's like, when he thinks he's off the hook. And I saw a couple old ones even with Lenny Nimoy was a character. I think, James Kirk. Who's James Kirk?
William Shatner?
William Shatner was another one, right? So, just when they think he's walking, oh yeah, one more thing. He's that one more thing guy. One more thing, and then, and he looks so harmless, but then it always gets mad.
Johnny Cash was in an episode as well.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, Johnny Cash was in an episode. I think Steven Spielberg directed an episode.
Yeah, you were talking about that before. He did.
It was an early one. It was season 1.
It was one of his first things. I think it's before he did Duel.
Yes, it was an early one. So
yeah,
it was an early Columbo episode. He did that one, and again, Johnny Cash was in one.
Yeah.
I mean, the guest list for Columbo is very long. We'll probably be here all day.
And then there was a Mrs. Columbo with Kate Mulgrew.
That was something.
Yeah, that was something too.
Yeah, that
But
was something.
I could talk about old TV programs all day long because it's fun. But what you're talking about with this MBTA community,
Yeah,
doesn't
so
sound too fun for this
it's
town of
not.
Middleboro, does it?
No, it's not. All right, so this is from the Middleboro News Facebook page. This is where I found it here. Found this little article here I want to talk about. The Middleboro has filed a lawsuit against the Haley administration over the MBTA communities law. And let me get this up here. This was back on February 28th, so it's been a couple of days now. Middleboro has filed a lawsuit in Plymouth Superior Court against Governor Maura Haley administration, challenging the state's enforcement of the MBTA communities law. The law requires communities served by the Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority, the MBTA, to zone for multifamily housing near transit stations. Middleboro officials claim they are already in compliance, having created a 40-acre smart growth zoning district near their commuter rail station. They have several of these. They have several of.
And what's the state's problem?
I don't know. They have one. They have a type of zoning housing in the area of the school. It's right across from the school, and then which is like a 5-minute walk from the station. And then they have one right across from the station they have now.
What school?
Mary King Good and Brooklyn. They have something similar. I don't know if it's the same thing.
It's going to be
they're talking about.
the news station's going to be even close to that.
Exactly. Yes.
Because
No.
it's
Exactly.
because it's going to be on this side of 495.
Exactly. It's like a 5-minute walk
Yeah.
from that. I mean, and then they have the apartments, which is right across from the old station. So they do have.
Those are technically they're in Lakeville.
Yeah. All right.
That's Lakeville.
Technically, yes.
Well, it's either Lakeville or Middleboro. There's no technically anything about it. It's either you're in
right.
Lakeville or you're in Middleboro.
No, you're right.
There's no technical thing
you're-
about it. You walk across the town line, you're in another town.
You're right. You're right.
Okay.
You're right. I got you there.
All right.
You're right, but they still do have those apartments near the school.
Well, they got all that land. I mean, they don't need if they're not using that station only for the Cape Fire, they should just sell all that land. They should just sell it to somebody. State should recoup some money and sell all that land. Maybe they could put some more high rises there, more apartments in Lakeville, and then have a little mini platform over on that particular line to pick up passengers for the Cape Fly. They only need to have maybe a 20-foot platform like they do on the low low bottom loading platforms. They have the level platforms that run for about 20 feet. You got a set of stairs. I mean, it's not quite level platforms in the whole system, but they can make something like that over near the other station and then sell all the land. Sell it, get some money, recoup some money.
Yeah. Town Manager James McGrail noted that there are almost 900 multi-unit housing units within walking distance of the MBTA, which is quite a lot. That's quite a lot of housing units there. Despite this, however, the state has declared Middleborough non-compliant and has withheld a $6.5 million in grant funds and also a $73,705 for the school district, and $70,000 for the housing authority, and $2.8 million for MassWorks grant for infrastructure. James McGrail criticized the state's action as draconian and capricious, arguing that they have acted in good faith and met the spirit of the law. Middleborough has. McGrail also waging a accused the governor and Attorney General of waging a tyrannical campaign of aggressive enforcement through threats, intimidation, and punishment.
Well, you're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see that in the local level, state level, and federal level.
Yes.
You see it at the federal level. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure the feds and even the administration is looking at that.
Mhm.
You're gonna hear about all of that.
They have threatened Milton as well. I mean, this is the same issue Milton has.
Right.
Yeah, they've been aggressive and they've threatened Milton as well with withdrawing of funding as well.
I think the Supreme Court, the Mass Supreme Court, might have to revisit this again.
I think so.
Because it's going to keep coming around.
It's going to keep coming. It's going to keep.
It's
coming
going to be
around.
user friendly for everyone.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, you got to have all these lawsuits. I mean, Middleborough needs the funds because to hold funds. Never been a big believer in that because don't we all pay state taxes? Don't the people in Middleborough pay state taxes? In your paycheck, so you're not going to get the money now. You
Yeah.
know? Even not to knock us off the subject, it's a quick thing. Governor Shapiro of Pennsylvania talked about getting the Doge froze everything, checking everything out, and there was it was 200. It was a lot of money. It was $2.1 billion was going to Pennsylvania, and he made it. He's like he went to that governor conference last week and he talked to some officials. I don't think he talked to the president. He said, you look under the hood yet? This is our money. It's we'll release it. But he's right because the people of Pennsylvania paid federal taxes for that money. So it's vice versa. The people who live in Middleborough, who work in Middleborough, pay state taxes, should have it for your fire department. So I don't think that's a good leverage. I think
that's not a great leverage.
No, I don't think everyone's going to use it. Everyone's going to be using it.
Threatening to take funds for police and fire. Yeah,
right.
That's not good
Well,
at all.
The whole diplomatic gets thrown out the window when you just willing to take money. So people crying about the federal level. Look at the state level. Look at this. It's used everywhere. I mean, if you don't like the one administration doing it and another administration doing it on a local level, it's sort of the same thing. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's got to be a better way. And I believe, and I think a lot of people believe that public transportation is a good thing. But it's it's just like a lot of people, like my brother, he will not ride the T. it is broken. It's just always, he'll walk before he drives, you know. Me, I'm a public transportation person. I always think it's great. But, you know, we're a month out from the South Coast Rail opening up, and we're not hearing about these bus shuttles to get people to the station, okay? They just build these huge parking lots, which is good. You know, I mean, put the parking lots in. But what if you just want to, say you're living around here in the downtown Middleboro area, I mean, Taunton area,
Yeah.
in the Green.
Yeah.
And you just want to leave your car at home. There should be a bus that takes you to the station.
Yes.
There should be a bus that takes you from Fall River to New Bedford. There should be a bus that takes you from New Bedford train station to the ferry terminals. They should have them. You should be able to jump on a bus. You know, if you work in Providence, you should be able to, and you live in Taunton, you should be able to take. You shouldn't have to go into Boston and come back and pay. What's it? It'd be $12.50 or $12.75, another $12.75. So yeah, $50 to go the long way a day to go to work, and you live in Taunton. So, you know, why would you take public transportation? I think it's cheaper to buy a vehicle and register it and to do all that and pay the park in Providence.
Yeah.
So I mean, they kind of they just need to have shortcuts. That's my thing.
Kevin Connor, a spokesperson for the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, said the law aims to create market rate housing, not affordable housing. The town is seeking a preliminary injunction against the state, arguing that the MBTA Communities Act is an unfunded mandate. What an unfunded mandate is a law that requires action without providing funding. Unfunded mandates can be imposed on state and local governments, private businesses, or individuals. So that's basically what an unfunded mandate is, without going into too much detail there.
It's you deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To obtain the injunction, the town must demonstrate a likelihood of success on the merits that the requested relief promotes the public interest and that it will not adversely affect it. Town Council Greg J. Corbell of KB Law said the town has a high likelihood of success, citing the unfunded mandate law, which limits the state's authority to impose costly mandates on municipalities. The State Auditor's Division of Local Mandates has also determined that the Act constitutes an unfunded mandate, and unfunded mandates are prohibited by Massachusetts law, which is under Proposition 2.5. Yeah, so there you go. Things are about to get very, very interesting in Middleboro.
Yeah, I got an update on the South Main Street bridge in Middleboro that ducks underneath 495, the rail bridge that ducks underneath South Main Street and 495. A crane about a week ago, the boom hit the bridge, and there's a 5 mile an hour speed restriction for the trains going over that bridge. It's been in effect for about a week. I was talking to a conductor yesterday. I took a ride into Boston, and then I asked the conductor, why is there a 5, and he told me what happened. And they're waiting for a bridge inspector to come out, or a civil engineer to come out and take a look-see and see. But that's just, so if you're taking the train and you're wondering why it's going, it's creeping 5 mile an hour over the bridge. Yesterday was interesting. Tours of South Station, first Saturday of the month, between 1 and 2. I happened to be just walking around with my ice cream, and I bumped into a woman. Her name is Linda Perlman. Okay, she does the tour.
Yes.
It's Linda Perlman at yahoo.com or 617-697-6246. She does private tours in Boston for a fee.
Okay.
But she does the South Station tour. And I had to catch a train, so I didn't see much of it. About half an hour. And we'll try to reach out to her. Maybe she can call in, or maybe call in on some of the other shows that Joey's doing. But it was pretty interesting for the first half hour. Was there? I had to take, like I said, I had to take off and get your train. I'm gonna go back in April because they go to the part of South Station I've never been to. Inside where you're not allowed to go unless you're an Amtrak rewards member or whatever. What do they call that? They have the I'm not sure where they take you in the other part.
Amtrak's important people.
Yeah, poor people. Pay, yeah, whatever. But I'm gonna go back. But the next one is gonna be in the first Saturday in April. But it was interesting. Talking about the history of it. And she's a school teacher, so you know how school teachers are. They don't, everyone's, raise your hand kind of thing. And I think it's kind of cool because, I spent time with, I have a good friend of mine who was a teacher for years. And they just talk to you differently, And sometimes it aggravates you, but that's just them being a school teacher, It's not their fault. But it was a great little tour for the half hour I saw it. I'm going to go back. I'm gonna try to try with Joey's gonna do his homework and try to reach out and get some guests because the boss wants guests, so he keeps saying Joey, get more guests, Joey, get more guests.
And I'm working on it.
He's working.
I want a quick update on the Stop and Shop situation. A deal has been made between the Teamsters and Stop and Shop workers. And Stop and Shop workers, Teamsters, and Stop and Shop. Thankfully, no closures are going to happen. This was a deal that was done like 5 hours before the deadline, as deals like this are usually done. But that's it's good that that this deal is done, and that there will be no disruptions when it comes to any warehouse work that these workers are trying to do.
That would have affected Freetown
It
warehouse down
would
there,
have
right?
affected Freetown.
Yeah.
So luckily that's not going to happen. So there's a little bit of an update there on that.
Good. I go to Stop and Shop and get some tomatoes.
Real quick, something that might come up on Wednesday. Me and Barry Sanders will be talking on Hometown Talk. We'll be talking with him, I think, during, I don't remember what hour. It's Wednesday. It's coming up on Wednesday. We're going to do a 20-minute segment, me and Barry. Something that might come up, probably at the end of the interview, is the New England Revolution. He is a big fan of the New England Revolution. And so far, the New England Revolution has been, not amazing.
So far, they're playing now.
Yeah, they're playing now. Yeah, regular season is underway.
When they start their season?
Regular season started back on the 22nd. Yeah. No, they were playing. They were playing for. They were playing for a couple weeks.
Are
Actually.
they playing indoors or outdoors?
I don't know. I think outdoors. I think outdoors. Yeah. Oh well, they were in Nashville. They were in Nashville on Saturday.
Well, that don't matter. The South's been cold.
No, of course. Yeah. I think they were at home yesterday. Then they have a game on Saturday, next Saturday against Philly, or the Union. And then they take on New York City. Actually, they got back to back with New York City as well. The Red Bulls and then the New York City FC. So, New England Revolution has kind of been the same New England Revolution when it comes to them not playing well. They start off with a tie against Nashville, and then they lose to the Columbus Crew 1-0 yesterday. So not off to a good start. I know it's very early. Some things could change, but it seems like very early on that's kind of what we're going to be dealing with this year is the same team. All right, that'll do it for the sports. We have about 3 minutes left in the program. I want to get to the weather and the today in histories before I forget. In Middleboro, it is 19 degrees. Today will be a high of 30, a low of 17 tonight. Feels like 9 degrees because of a little bit of the wind that's going on. Tomorrow it will also be cold, 31 degrees, a low of 13, but clear skies. No rain today or tomorrow, which is a good thing as well. In Driscoll, Texas, 60 degrees, a high of 81 today, a low of 59. Cloudy throughout the day and windy as well. Wind gusts up to 15 miles per hour. Same thing for Monday and Tuesday. Windy, but highs in the 80s. In Driscoll, North Dakota, it is 21. It'll be 21 degrees. And it's a high of 47 today. So kind of cold, but not that bad. But a little windy. Temperatures will feel like right now they feel like 14, but that will go up as the temperature goes up. But a gust up to 14 miles per hour in Driscoll, North Dakota today. So there you go.
Check this out, Joey. Do you think this is?
What is this?
I don't know. You tell me if things are real or not real on the internet. Do you think that's real?
Facebook, that's probably not real.
You don't think Unstoppable 2's coming in?
Probably not. I don't. Probably not. We'll talk about that next week. I might as well throw this one in before we talk about Taunton. Newport Richey, 63 degrees right now, a high of 71 and a low of 53 today. Sunny skies today, a high of 72 and a low of 50 tomorrow in Newport Richey. And then Taunton, 19 degrees, a high of 30 and a low of 17 tonight. All right, our Today in Histories, real quick, and I got to kind of speed through these. 1807, the U.S. Congress passes the act prohibiting importation of slaves, disallowing the importation of new slaves into the country. 1836, Texas Revolution, the Declaration of Independence of the Republic of Texas from Mexico is adopted. 1877, just 2 days before inauguration, the U.S. Congress declares Rutherford B. Hayes the winner of the 1876 U.S. presidential election, even though Samuel J. Tilden had won the popular vote. 1901, U.S. Steel Corporation is founded as a result of a merger between Carnegie Steel and Federal Steel, which became the first corporation in the world with a market capital over $1 billion. 1937, the Steel Workers Organizing Committee signs a collective bargaining agreement with U.S. Steel, leading to the unionization of the United States steel industry. 1862, Wilt Chamberlain sets a single-game scoring record in the National Basketball League National Basketball Association by scoring 100 points. No one is ever going to score 100 points again. I think Kobe Bryant was the closest in a game. I think it was 2010 he did it. He scored 82 points, I believe. Birthdays, 1769, DeWitt Clinton, American lawyer and politician, the 6th governor of New York. 1793, Sam Houston, American soldier and politician, the first president of the Republic of Texas. 1816, Alexander Bullock, American lawyer and politician. He was the 26th governor of Massachusetts. 1904, Dr. Seuss. 1917, Desi Arnaz. 1931, Mikhail Gorbachev. Mikhail, yeah, thank you. The 8th and final leader of the Soviet Union. He also won the Nobel Peace Prize. 1942, Lou Reed. 1968, Daniel Craig, who was Bond up until the last film there, No Time to Die. He's no longer going to be Bond going forward. 1982, Joel and Henrik Lundqvist, both Swedish hockey players. They're both brothers as well. 1982, Ben Roethlisberger. 1985, Reggie Bush. 1985, Robert Eiler, AJ from Sopranos. 1989, Shane Vereen of the Patriots and I believe also the Giants. 1990, Malcolm Butler. 1990, Luke Combs. 1992, Charlie Coyle. 1998, Tua Tagovailoa. In 1999, Isaiah Pacheco of the Kansas City Chiefs. And passing away on this day in 2010. And no, this is not the same Winston Churchill. This is a different Winston Churchill. He passed away in 2010, Winston Churchill, English journalist and politician. All right, that'll do it for today's program. I hope everyone enjoyed today's program, and we'll be back next week for another edition of Middleboro in Review. Bye-bye. Sorry, had to kind of rush to get the show ended.
You did good
today.
You did rushing that in. You only tripped over like one, but that ain't bad. Yeah, that's good.
I'd rather talk about Colombo than the MBTA communities act. I really
I
would.
think everyone would like to talk about Colombo instead of the MBTA Communities Act. Yes, I'm 100% with you. I do not care for the MBTA Communities Act at all.
I wonder what Barry's got.
We got a bunch of local stuff we're gonna talk about. Yeah.
You gonna talk about South Coast Rail?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll get his opinion on it.
There's cream and sugar in that bag for that other coffee.
Okay, for the other coffee? Sounds good. Alright, thank you.
Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has announced he is running for mayor.
Andrew Cuomo's running for mayor.
Yeah, probably win.
Well, you never know. I think Eric Adams will win. I think he'll win. No, I think he'll win. I think he'll hold on to win. It'll be close, but I think he'll win. Alright, bye everybody.